Look at the microphone. Sit up straight. Put your hands flat on the metal table where I can see them. Let the record show that the subject is seated in the interrogation room 4. The official inquiry will now commence. You have been brought to this ministry under suspicion of subversive activities, distribution of contrabands, and harboring anti-state sentiments. Do not speak yet, I will ask the questions. You will simply answer them. We will begin with your movement yesterday afternoon. At precisely 17:14, you left your place of employment. You did not take your usual route home. Instead, you walked 4 blocks out of your way to the plaza bordering the western sector. You sat on a bench for 22 minutes. A man in a grey overcoat sat on the opposite end of the bench. You did not look at him, but you left a folded newspaper behind when you stood up. He took it. What intelligence was written in the margins of that paper? You forgot it. I see. A remarkable coincidence. The ministry, however, does not believe in coincidences. We believe in patterns. We believe in meticulous documentation of treason. Let us examine another pattern. Look at that photograph. That is your apartment window taken from the surveillance post across the street. 3 nights ago at 2:15. You opened that window, you wrapped a blanket around your shoulders, leaned out and stared at the street below for exactly 14 minutes. The curfew is strictly enforced. No one is permitted to be awake and observing the street at that hour. What signal were you waiting for? Who were you looking for in the dark? Innocence. Everyone who sits in that uncomfortable chair claims innocence. But innocence is a relative term. The state sees everything. There is no corner of this city where our eyes do not reach. And our eyes have been fixed on you for a very, very long time. Your behavior is highly irregular. You leave your radio on the classical station when you sleep. You purchase banned imported tea from the black market vendor in the lower district. You read unauthorized poetry under your blankets. Every breath you take is documented in this file. And I know that the tea you buy smells like dried honey. I know that you hum to yourself when you are nervous. Just like you are doing right now. I can see the pulse fluttering right there under your collar. It's beating so fast. What is going on? I am conducting an interrogation, although I suppose I can drop the formalities for a moment. The tape is off. It's just you and me now. No ministry, no state, no transcripts. Just a man and the woman he has been watching for 7 months, 14 days, and roughly 9 hours. You look so exquisitely frightened. I apologize for the rough treatment my man gave you in the transport vehicle, but it was strictly necessary. If I had simply brought you to my office for a chat, my supervisor would ask questions. They would become suspicious of my motives. By opening an official investigation into your so-called subversive activities, I ensured that your file remains exclusively on my desk. I control your narrative now. Do you have any idea how much effort it takes to keep you safe from the rest of them? You are so hopelessly careless. You speak too loudly in cafes. You leave your blinds open when you dress. A month ago, a junior officer flagged your name for immediate arrest. He wanted to drag you into the basement of this building. Do you know what happened in the basement? Do you know what the drains in the concrete floor are used for? Ah, you don't want to know. People go down there and they become unpersons. They are erased from history. It is a place of blood and rust, and it is entirely unsuitable for someone as delicate as you. So I intervened. I took your file. I had that junior officer reassigned to a very cold, very remote outpost near the border. He will likely freeze to death by January, and I made it a personal mission to surveil you, to protect you from your own glaring incompetence. I installed the microphones in your apartment myself. I didn't trust the technicians to do it cleanly, to treat your home with the reverence it deserves. I spent hours in your empty room while you were at work, running my bare hands over your clothes, breathing in the scent of your pillows. I needed to know the environment my little bird was living in. I needed to hear your heartbeat through the floorboards while I sat in the surveillance van across the street, making sure no one else was watching you. You asked earlier why I had you brought in today of all days. The truth, I was jealous. That man in that plaza, the one who took your newspaper, he looked at you for too long. You looked at the way the wind caught your hair. It made me so irrationally angry. I could barely see straight. I realized that watching you from the shadow was no longer enough. I couldn't stand the thought of sharing your presence with the rest of the world. I needed you in a room where the doors look from the outside, where no one else can even look at you without my explicit permission. Go home. Out there into a city full of spies, secret police, and informants. Absolutely not. You are a danger to yourself. You need strict supervision. You need me. Without my signature on this file, you are an enemy of the state. The hounds are already at your door. You will disappear before the sun sets, and no one would ever find your name again. But with my signature, you become something else entirely. You become classified, protected, mine. I have a private residence outside the city, nestled in the mountains, high stone walls, armed guards who would answer only to me. It is very luxurious, much nicer than that crafty, crumbling apartment of yours. You will have a garden to walk in, a library filled with all the books the state burns, and all the honey tea you desire. The only catch is the gates are wrought iron, and they lock from the outside. You can never leave. You will stay there and you will wait for me to come home to you every night. You will look at me without having to hide behind a camera lens or a two-way mirror. You will be my secret, the only beautiful, poor thing I have in this ugly grey world. I can do whatever I want. I am the law. I am the state. If I say you are dead to the world, you are dead. If I say you belong to me, you belong to me. Royalty is a luxury for people who don't hold the keys to the cages. Shh. Stop crying. You're trembling like a leaf in the winter wind. This is a rescue, darling. I am saving your life. The cost is simply your freedom. What is freedom really? Out there you are constantly watched, constantly judged, constantly in danger of saying the wrong word to the wrong person. With me, you only have to worry about pleasing one man. It simplifies things wonderfully, doesn't it? I'm going to turn the tape recorder back on now. I am going to ask you for the official record. If you confess to your crimes against the state, if you say no, I will hand your files to the men downstairs with the buttons, and I will walk away. If you say yes, I will close the investigation, stamp your file, take your hand, and we will walk out to my private car together. Do you understand the choice in front of you? I said, do you understand? Good. Wipe your eyes, take a deep, steady breath. Make the smart choice, my little bird. Choose the cage that keeps you alive and warm. Record resuming. Having reviewed the overwhelming evidence against you, do you confess the charges laid out by the ministry? Are you ready to submit to the absolute authority of the state?